Hey, what's up? It's your girl Dina from Dinas.tv. I am a fitness trainer and lifestyle coach. I've not only transformed my body, but I've transformed many people through my online coaching and through my boot camps. I'm going to be sharing tools with you that are going to transform your body and transform your life. Now is the time that you live the life that you love and love the life that you live. The time is now to make changes. The time is now to grow. What's up, you guys? Today's episode is going to be different. I'm interviewing an amazing woman. She's absolutely a big inspiration to me. She's known as Jenny Fit in Dubai. She's very famous. She's a mother of 3. She's a personal trainer and she owns Jump Fit Dubai. You are the first person that I had in mind that I wanted to interview. I'm not a mother. I don't have children. And I know that a lot of women out there struggle to be fit, to be healthy. They don't know how to get it in their day. And you are absolutely a pro at this. And she has the most amazing energy. She's constantly positive, constantly active on social media, every single day providing value for people in order for people to live a healthier lifestyle. And I absolutely look up to you. So I want to ask you some questions. Share your story so that, whatever helped you get to where you're at right now. The first question I want to know is, how did it all start? What made you even decide to start working out from the beginning?
Oh gosh, if we want to go back, firstly, Dina, let me say thank you so much for considering me for this. I've been following your podcast and I got to know you about 2 years ago, maybe.
Yep.
That's another story. So to be here today, I'm super excited to be able to share because I get asked this all the time. How do you do it, Jen? How do you do it? It came with a lot of sweat, tears, determination, and passion. And I am so lucky that I had a really great upbringing, good parents, and funny, being Lebanese, growing up in an American society in the USA, in Florida, and having Lebanese parents, there were certain restrictions in my upbringing. I found exercise as my outlet.
Yeah.
So it was my outlet.
Okay.
And then when I realized I loved it so much, it became a part of me, even from as young as 12 years old, and I got my first rollerblades. And I think I remember when I was 16, I told my dad I'm going to be a PE teacher.
Wow.
So I knew it from a very young age. I believed what I wanted to do. But when you have parents that are like, no, you should go into the business world. No, you should go this way. So I listened and I took a marketing degree and I went and studied communications, got a BA in marketing and ventured off into the corporate world.
Wow.
But deep down inside, and this is what I'm finding we are not doing, is listening to our gut because we are so... we constantly are influenced by what our parents want us to do, and especially if we come from a culture where we want to follow and please, we fall into that trap.
Yeah.
And I encourage so many young women and even my own daughters, don't fall into that trap. Don't fall into what I think you should do. I will see what I feel you are capable of doing and push them to go what I feel is their talent going to be. Nobody knew in my family that my talent could have been becoming a personal trainer. So I took the marketing degree, worked in the corporate world. And during the time I was working, I had 3 kids.
Yeah.
I continued working in the corporate world.
And you continued to work out throughout this whole time.
And I still continued to work out. And it was a 9-to-5 job. And in Dubai, it's never 9 to 5. You finish around 6:30. But when I saw it was 5 p.m. and I was working near the Wafi Creek Park, I would have my rollerblades in the car. Boss left, so I would immediately get into my car, get those rollerblades out, and I kid you not, I was rollerblading around Creek Park. So fitness has always been my outlet for everything, for stress, for managing the daily life, for managing work, for managing company politics. Fitness was my go-to. It was my healthy addiction in life. It was my healthy drug to go to because it made me feel good.
And what was the transition like when you were in marketing and you had your job?
Yes.
What point did you get to where you felt like, you know what, I'm actually going to take this as a career?
I remember it clearly. I was working for a retail company called Chalouhi. So I was the marketing manager for Chanel and Polo Ralph Lauren. In honesty, every girl's dream job. And I never enjoyed it. I was never in it, but I did it. And after Emma, my 3rd child, was born, I left the corporate world, took a sabbatical, and was offered a freelancer job to work for this company, turned it down, and decided to just enjoy the children while they were young. And after Emma was 9 months old, I remember my husband coming home saying, you need to go back to work. I fell into the trap of talking diapers, bottled milk, her first solid food. All I talked about was kids, 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 and my husband felt I was disappearing in the world of motherhood, which is an amazing job.
Yeah.
But he felt that women, we're so capable of everything and balancing it all out. And my husband saw that. So I discussed about good support systems, and he was the top of my support system. When I went back into my home, or when I came home, I realized I kept a lot of health books laying around, health and fitness magazines, accumulated since I was maybe 25 years old. And here I was 32, left my job, decided not to go back to the corporate world, made a definite decision, told my husband, whatever we needed to do to cut costs, because we're only living on one salary, I will do it. Do not push me in the corporate world. I will find what I'm passionate about and I will do it. When I looked at my health and fitness magazines, there was one page in particular, when you open it up, it says how to become a personal trainer.
Wow.
Ripped it out, put it on my fridge.
Oh my God.
And I was looking at it every morning when I was taking out my daughter's milk to feed her and preparing food for the kids. And every time I opened the fridge, it was right there, how to become a personal trainer. It took me 6 months before I called that phone number. That's where it all began.
Wow. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, a very important question that I'm sure a lot of mothers are thinking right now. When you were pregnant, what did you do? What did you go through? How did you find any challenges to be able to still work out? And till when did you work out through your pregnancy?
Okay, if some of you are following me on my Jennifer CFit account, you'll see I do a lot of strength training programs, lifting weights. When I was delivering, or when I was pregnant with my first child, I was 27 years old. I knew nothing about weight training or calisthenics or trampoline cardio or what I do now. I only knew about cardio, because for me it was cardio is fat loss. But that's all I knew, because I wasn't certified. I wasn't even a personal trainer then. I became a personal trainer after my third child. Cardio was all I knew. So when I was pregnant, all I knew was swimming and walking. I didn't lift weights. I am inspired by all these women who get the okay from their doctors and they still continue CrossFit, and they still continue, the women we see today in 2017 pregnant, doing these incredible intense workouts. But consider me maybe a bit old-fashioned. I really like the swimming and walking.
Yeah.
Pregnant for 9 months and holding a child and growing that child, I found myself very tired. So to be able to do some of these intense workouts the women are doing nowadays, I commend them.
Yeah.
But I just did
That was
walking
right
and
for
swimming.
you,
It was
yeah.
right for me at that time.
Yeah.
Here's the mistake though. When I was pregnant a second time, and it was, again, the doctor said was not my fault at all, I ended up learning about strength training. So I was 3 months pregnant with 8 weeks pregnant. I miscarried during that time. So in between the kids, there was a miscarriage.
Yeah.
And I was lunging and swimming and walking, and I felt I was overdoing it. Even the doctor confirmed to me that you didn't miscarriage because of this. But I recognized the signs. I was tired and I didn't listen to myself. So no matter what, and I understand the doctor will tell you not to feel guilty, but any of you women out there that experience this, the first 3 months are crucial. I highly recommend to rest. So any woman that's pregnant at that time, I honestly tell them, get back to me after the 3rd month, after your first trimester. We can work out very mild, low heart rated workouts.
Yeah.
But so then after that, a year later, I got pregnant with my second child, who's now 13 years old. I went back to what I know. I did cardio, which was walking and swimming. My third child, all I did was walking and swimming. I felt 9 months to grow the baby. After that, I can get back into my intense training. And after the third child is when I became more aware of how important strength training is. I feel it's the youth of life. You will look younger, you will feel younger, and you will also have a lot more energy. So it was after the third child I started learning more about weight-bearing exercises like push-ups and squats.
Wow. And how did all of this fitness lifestyle affect your children?
They followed.
Yeah.
I am such a lucky mom.
I know, because I see all the videos on Instagram.
Yeah.
Now she does the trampoline classes with her children.
They join me.
And you do it together as a family.
We do it together.
That's so beautiful.
I think one regret I wish I had was the 3 kids, and we're talking 2007. Instagram didn't come around until I was made aware of Instagram around 2013. So between 2007 and 2013, I was working out with my kids when they were babies.
Yeah.
But I have no videos to show proof of that.
Yeah.
So that kind of bugs me that I don't have those memories. But the moment Instagram came out in 2013, I started to create the videos where my daughter was 9, 6, and 3 at the time.
Yeah.
So, but I don't have too much to show of it. But they love what I do. I'm very lucky, and I honestly feel they don't really have a choice.
Yeah. Do you
They
work
have
out
to.
every day?
Sometimes it feels that way, because if I'm teaching a class, it tends to just out of a working habit, I am. But if I want to go to the gym and train myself, I try to go for about an hour, 2 to 3 times a week, believe it or not. Because my days are already hectic as it is because it's my work.
Exactly. I totally agree. I do the same thing, honestly. People think I'm in the gym training every single
Me
day.
too, but I'm
I
actually
go through my
training.
phases.
Yeah, I'm training my clients. So
Yeah.
I kind of sneak in a rep or two. I'm like, that's how you do a squat. And I show it to them. I'm like, let me just do 5 more reps.
Let me just show you properly to make sure you do it right.
I did that today with my palm client. I'm like, let's do this one together. It was the outer thigh squat. So I snuck one set in of 12 reps.
Speaking of clients, the majority of your clients, what do they struggle with the most that you've seen?
Balance. When to find time to work out. So that's why I feel the personal training industry is a success, because these women that I meet, they need people like us to actually show up, to motivate them to do it, because if we're not there to make them accountable, they tend to not do the workout. But my aim is to tell them, if you're with me twice a week, I want to see what you're doing during those other 3 days. And that's what they do. They WhatsApp me. I'm constantly on my phone checking their messages and seeing their updates and their accountability. It's all about balance and making the time, because let's get realistic, we will never have time. Yes. And I'm adamant to make that clear. You will never have time. Exactly. You got to make the time.
I totally agree. That's exactly what I say. All right. So for those who don't have an amazing trainer like you,
thank you.
What helped you get through this and be able to have this balance, especially knowing that you have 3 children, you have a lot of responsibility, you pick them up from school, you're cooking, you're doing all of the things that you're doing, being an amazing mother well as everything else that you do. So what are the tips that you can, provide for people out there that want to get started, don't know really how, and how should they start? How many times should they train? What rituals do you incorporate in your lifestyle that can keep you on track?
Here's what I found being experienced as a mother and seeing what I've seen from not just my clients, but from women I've met along the way that are also mothers. We selfishly give ourselves to our family all the time. And I know we hear we need to put ourselves first to be better mothers and better wives. It's true, sometimes we fail doing that because we're constantly putting our children first and our husbands first, our spouses, our family first. We're letting ourselves go. So I always tell women, one of my biggest motivations when I got pregnant and when I had the children, I didn't want to let myself go as a wife or as a mother or lose the person I was before I got married. Yes. That stayed with me from day one, because when I was 21, I saw all my mom's friends. And I'm like, this should not be allowed. Women should not let themselves go. We should fix our hair. We should do our nails. We should take care of ourselves. We should wash our makeup off at night before we go to bed. We're not doing that because women are like, I just don't have time. We go back to that again. If we make time and put ourselves first and know that, honestly, we have 7 days out of the week, we have 16 waking hours during the day. We have the time. It's just, are you utilizing that time well? Put yourself first. Make sure you have a house full of all the right foods, because out of sight, out of mind. Take away all that bad sugar, all those bad carbs, those chips, because you have kids, they're going to want that in the house all the time. My aim is to avoid that. On the weekends, take some money. I make them bike ride to the store, get their treats. But to go back to your question, you have to dig deep. Women, we all have to dig deep and realize we are as important as our children. Our health is as important. Our outside exterior exposure to the world is as important. Our smile is as important. And that glow in our eyes is as important. If that means getting a spa, getting a massage, being selfish 1 hour a day. I'm not even saying all day. Be selfish 1 or 2 hours a day out of the 16 hours you have, so that you can actually be a happy mom and a happy wife.
That's so true.
That's your motivation. Yeah. That's what, when a woman falls, you never know. You might actually look at a woman and she's out at a breakfast morning coffee, she's shopping with her girlfriends. Is that really what you want to do, or you're just wasting or spending time? What do you really want to do? Do you really want to go shopping with your friend?
Exactly.
Or go to the gym and work out? It just depends what you want.
Yeah.
It really depends, and I encourage women to put themselves first.
Sorry to interrupt, but the people also that you're surrounding yourself with, that you're going to the mall, having these coffee breaks and everything, are they draining you and robbing you of your energy, or are they actually providing the right energy for you? Because if you surround yourself with people who want to be healthy and that are making the steps to be able to change their life, it's going to motivate you, But when you surround yourself around people who just want to drink tea, talk about each other, talk about other people, you know what I mean?
And
That's what a lot of people do.
Yeah, I did
know?
fall into that, especially when I took a sabbatical and I wasn't working and I was raising the kids and we were going to play dates. I found most of my time spent at morning coffees while the children played. And I realized there was more to life than sitting and talking about the housework or our nannies or the cleaner.
Complaining about how things are.
Oh, right.
You know, just more negativity that drains you.
So my biggest key is eliminate noise. The noise that I feel does not fit right in my world, in my brain. I eliminate that noise. I do meet girlfriends for coffee. I do that maybe, believe it or not, once or twice. Once a week, maybe twice a month.
Wow,
it just depends.
amazing.
It's not much. Because to be honest, my time is filled with one-on-one personal training with my clients, and I sometimes find we chit-chat during that moment of training. That's my time with my girls.
Yes, exactly.
I'm actually enjoying that.
Yeah, that's so true.
And then the time I do have off, I actually read or I study or I do a workshop or I keep my credentials up to date.
That's what I was going to ask you, because I've seen that you have books laying around in the bathroom, these little mini books. You got all of these books right here that you read a lot, I see, yeah?
Self-motivation.
So please tell me about that.
Okay. It goes back again to having children. I mean, if you go back to stuff, don't sweat the small stuff with your family. It's so true. Don't sweat the small stuff because it's all small stuff. Gosh, the Don't Sweat Guide for Moms. I struggled raising 3 kids. I struggled. And I believe postpartum depression exists, but I was never diagnosed. None of us are diagnosed. We just find ourselves crying a lot, especially when the children are babies. And you're like, my mom didn't warn me it was going to be this hard.
Wow.
Raising kids is mentally, physically, emotionally draining, as beautifully as rewarding as it is. But the thing is, you get so tumbled into that whirlwind of, well, I chose to have 3 kids, and it was a balance between it. Thank God I had outside help. I didn't have my family around, so outside help, I'm meaning a nanny and someone to come in and to help me. And with that, as well as self-motivational books, to realize I wasn't alone. When you look at some of these books, you realize you are not alone.
Yeah.
7 Secrets of Successful Parenting, and one of my favorites, Children Learn What They Live.
Wow.
And I'm not here to promote these books. I'm here to tell you these books helped me. They saved me.
Exactly.
I mean, some people will go maybe and sit and talk to someone. I remember calling my pediatrician a couple times. I will never forget this one conversation because my pediatrician laughed at me. I think I had 3 kids. Jada was, wait. Let me go back a bit. No, I can't remember if it was the 3rd child or the 2nd child. One of them was doing temper tantrums 10 times a day. Moms, you have a terrible 2, even a 4-year-old. Those temper tantrums, if you don't know what to do, you feel like a failure. Your child is screaming and you don't know why. And you think you need to discipline them. And at that time, I called my pediatrician and said, what am I doing wrong? Why is my daughter having constant temper tantrums? He laughed and he said, welcome to parenthood. That was not what I needed to hear. Yeah. So I found my own way by seeking self-help books. I read and I sat and I was like, I'm not alone. Take a breath. Take a step back. Remove yourself from the situation. Give your children a moment, because sometimes their eyes are developing way faster than their brains are.
Yeah.
So now that I'm a grown woman with 3 grown children, when I look back, I can't believe if I only recognize this. And moms with the young kids, I believe their eyes grow a lot faster than their brains. So when they see something they want and their brain cannot help them explain what they want, they go into that temper tantrum mode. And I honestly believe that theory. I've never asked a doctor or to say it. I think a doctor would agree with me, but I've never asked. I really believe that theory, and you might recognize it with your own kids. They see something and they're not able to express what they're feeling, and that's when the temper tantrum happens.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. That was really good. So now I'm sure some women out there are thinking, okay, how can I start working out? I have to wake up early. I have to take the kids. I have to clean. I have to cook. I have all this. Did you create like a plan, a strategy? Do you write notes? Like, what is your system that kind of got you started and, evaluating your whole life and able to know what to do?
A to-do list. You have to write a to-do list, and a to-do list that you can see. I will never forget Post-it notes all over the house.
Yeah, I do the same.
The garage door, the bathroom, the kitchen. By the kids' book bags, Post-it notes were everywhere. And one Post-it note in my kids' bathroom: do not forget to brush your teeth, pick up your clothes, and do your bed. That's Post-it note number 1. My Post-it notes was in my bathroom was, don't forget, you have to call the pediatrician, book an appointment. This without Post-it notes, we are actually again into our whirlwind of not managing our time effectively and properly. And that also came into play of me going back to work and taking my personal trainer certificate and doing what I do, was to-do lists. Where could I fit this into my crazy lifestyle? Keynote is a to-do list. Go to sleep, going over your to-do list, wake up, reviewing your to-do list, and adding on to the to-do list constantly. I have a to-do list right in my phone.
I put it everywhere. I have a whiteboard, sticky
Yes.
notes on my computer, sticky notes other places, on my phone, alarm, everything.
And they say that when you have sticky notes or to-do lists, your brain is already computed to realize what is your plan for the next day.
Yeah.
And it actually motivates you.
Exactly.
So imagine you say to yourself, my workout's going to be at 9 a.m. because I'm not working at the moment. The kids are already at school. The cooking can wait. Start your cooking at 11. But if you have kids that finish school at 12, then you're going to have to maybe wake up a little bit earlier. Just adjust your time right somewhere.
Just because one day didn't go right the way you expected, you just reevaluate your day and you say, you know what? That didn't work for me at this time. I need to start earlier or later, instead of just giving up and thinking that, you know what, I won't be able to do it now. Because that's the one thing a lot of people do. I can't right now. It's not the right time. I can't right now. I'm too busy. I have a project. My kid's doing this or something. People are here, visiting me. My family is here. There's always something. So the next question I had is that I've seen you work out with your husband a couple times on Instagram.
Yes.
So how did that kind of influence your relationship?
Oh, when I became a personal trainer, in the course, they recommend that we work out with a partner, a friend, or a neighbor as our guinea pigs. So my husband was my first guinea pig. And I said, we're going to go on the diet now. We're going to eat the carbs when we're supposed to eat carbs, have our protein at every meal, avoid certain fruits after 7 p.m. So he was my guinea pig. And I said, we're going to follow this diet so that when I have a client that hires me, I would have practiced already.
Yeah.
Because we're talking... I didn't become a personal trainer from college. I became a personal trainer later on after my 30s. So, and my husband got addicted. And he has been joining me on my workouts, and he loves it as much as I do. Not because he has to, but because I'm very lucky he wants to. And he has fun with it. I love seeing him coming to my events, working out with me. When I became TRX certified, he was again one of my first clients. His brother got involved. My sister-in-law got involved. They were my first clients.
And it's a great way to spend time together.
And it bonded us.
We're so busy. Like I find it like a date with my husband. I'm like, let's
we're
go
gonna
work out together. And it's so much fun.
It's
And then
true.
you eat after, and you have like a healthy meal, and you cook it at home. And I know a lot of Arab women, not to sound like, racist or judgmental or anything, but a lot of, Arab and Arabian culture, the women are cooking and the husband's sitting, he's waiting for the food and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with having your husband help you around in the kitchen, and you can incorporate it in a very fun way. Like, babe, help me clean the vegetables, and then I'll chop it up and I'll cook it. You clean the chicken and I'll take care of the rest, for an example. Yeah, like that's what I do with Ben, I'm like, clean the chicken and I'll make everything.
Yes. And if you say it in the right tone.
Yes, and you make it fun and cute, and maybe you could put some music on, wear something cute, you know what I mean? Yeah, and have fun with it, because when your husband is also doing it with you, it's going to be motivating, because it's going to be hard to try to live a healthy lifestyle, change your diet, work out, and do all of that, and your husband's sitting there eating matluba and, all of the fried food and all of that stuff,
It's not going to work.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Exactly, but I don't know what it's like for other couples or relationships where the husband's not on board and the woman does like to work out, but I've found and I've seen eventually, whether it's the husband that's a fitness fanatic, the wife is not, or the wife is and the husband's not, eventually somehow the roads meet.
Yeah.
Somehow. It might not be now, it could be later.
Yes.
But once they meet, the bond becomes even stronger without a doubt, because you have more in common.
Yes. And it's fun when you do it together, it will, prevent the partner from going outside and getting that type of connection with other people. Because, if your husband's not doing it, you're going to go with a bunch of girls. I'm going to spend time with the girls at the gym. I'm going to go out and eat with them. And then it becomes part of the lifestyle where you kind of have this separation.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I don't like to jog, so that's actually a great example. So I told my husband, I'm so sorry, I just do not like to jog.
Yeah.
So he gets his cardio in and he jogs with a friend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's great. When you come back, let's do our strength training program together.
Perfect.
So there's always a win-win. There's a way around it.
That's funny, because Ben likes to jog. I don't really like
Exactly. So it doesn't mean a door closes. Just find another door to open and make it work.
Perfect. Exactly. So if you can go back in time and give yourself advice, what would it be?
I wish I had more confidence. I wish I didn't doubt myself. And I wish I listened to my inner voice and followed my gut. I wish I did. But when you're young or when you're sheltered, it depends how open your parents were. But I really believe it's from the upbringing. And if you over-shelter your kids, they're not going to know who they want to be yet because they're following your rules, your way of living. We have to give space to our children. And I'm not saying my parents didn't do it. My parents did a fantastic job in raising me. And I even think my mom says to this day, I do wish I gave you more space.
Yeah.
And I tell her, Mom, don't worry about it. I love you. Look where I am now.
Yeah.
Another friend of mine said, what is meant for you will not pass you. So I truly believe if being a PT, I should have done when I was 18, maybe it wasn't meant for me then. So I could never put blame on my parents for over-sheltering me or lacking in that self-esteem or self-confidence because I was too sheltered. I didn't see the world enough that I should have at my age. And with that, just what is meant for you will not pass you. So you know what? What my passion happened later on in life, and that's okay. I'm so happy to have it and grab it. But if I could go back, it would be believe in yourself. You've got this. You've got this.
Exactly. I love that. So whenever your clients or anyone right now that's listening and they're struggling and they're like, eating a clean diet is very difficult. Like they've just been eating the wrong foods for so long that their taste buds are damaged. They don't really know how to start. They find it very challenging. What would be the advice that you could give someone to encourage them and let them know that obviously it's going to change later in the future, but what could they do in the beginning to actually get started?
First thing that comes to my mind is clean out your kitchen. I think common sense can tell all of us that a bag of potato chips is not healthy. That tub of ice cream is not healthy. We got to think of greens and earthly foods. So I get a lot of clients that come to me and say, I don't know where to start. So I tell them, let me come to your kitchen. Let me show you maybe where you're going wrong. Or why don't you take a picture of your cupboards? I can help you. So if you're not able to do it on your own, and you know a friend that could be in the personal training industry, they'll do that as a friendly favor.
Yeah.
If you don't and you have the financial means to, hire someone to help you get started. Again, if you don't have the financial means to be able to hire someone to help you, figure out to clean out your own kitchen on your own or go and use social media. What is a healthy habits? Look up healthy habits. Put your list by your fridge. Healthy habits are going to be drink water as your main source of hydration. Your fruits, your vegetables, your greens. You've got spinach, you've got broccoli, you've got green beans. All your greens are your healthy foods. And then you've got your proteins. Again, if you're vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian, then it depends on your lifestyle, but you can find many sources of protein. And then you have your basic good carbs that you will hear it constantly on social media. You don't need a degree or you don't need a professional to tell you what your good carbs are. You've got your sweet potatoes, your quinoa, you've got your brown rice, your brown pasta, your organic breads, or your protein-based breads. It's really simple. And then you just have to balance your food intake based on your age. I mean, that goes into more detail. I don't want to get too detailed into that.
I see on your, speaking of social media, you're always posting about food and you make delicious meals.
In my kitchen,
So I know the kids probably kind of want to switch it up or they have a sweet tooth or something. So do you do anything in your meals to make it a little bit tastier for other people that really don't eat vegetables and fruits as their main source of diet? And, to kind of to start with, you know what I mean? So for someone who's always eating chocolate and always eating burgers, you make your own way of burgers, right?
Yeah, with whole wheat bread.
And you made sweet potato fries I saw the other day.
Loved it.
So how do you make that?
So the sweet potato fries, I knew the kids needed to have more good carbs in their diet. So I decided to get Cajun spices, which is the taco seasoning. And I pan fried it in coconut oil at first. So instead of using your frying oil, go to coconut oil. I cut them into wedges, fried them for maybe 1 minute to keep them from being overcooked, stuck them into the oven, and they baked for about 20 minutes.
Wow.
Don't forget the taco seasoning sauce into the oven. They came out and the kids ate them up, and that was one sweet potato this big.
Wow.
I should have had three sweet potatoes.
Sweet potato tastes so good. It's perfect for someone who has a sweet tooth and they want to be full and, for a long period of time.
And kids love French fries, so I bought an air fryer.
Yeah.
And they're still loving it.
Yeah, we used to use the air fryer.
Right? Exactly.
And they came crispy for the sweet potato?
No, the sweet potato went into the oven on high heat.
Yeah,
and then I left it in there.
Because I didn't know how to make it with that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good. It was good. And then minimum salt, because they do love salt. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Minimum
Himalayan
sea salts.
Yeah.
It's just finding ways, and there's always a fruit. Like if you look in my kitchen right now, you're going to see the fruit
Exactly.
platter. So
This is what really helped me, you know,
Yes.
because I have a
When
sweet
you
tooth.
see it, yeah.
It's just exactly, and just having the fruit and eating it slowly.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, we eat so fast, you know what I mean, stressed out, and we're just not even thinking
Exactly.
about the food. We're just reacting, you know, in a compulsive way. But now when I just sit there and I eat it very slowly,
Yes.
let the juice
Exactly.
melt in my mouth,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then it's just like, you appreciate it much more, and then you start to enjoy it.
Exactly. Not to say my kids, they love sugar. What child doesn't? I try to encourage the kids, okay, if you're going to go for an ice cream, go bike ride to get your ice cream.
Yeah.
And their ice cream is usually right after school where their energy is low.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be one of those strict parents and say to them, they're kids. At the end of the day, I see them, I step back and I say, okay, they're kids. Go get that ice cream, go have a good time, maybe every other day.
Yeah.
It's not easy because every day they want to have that ice cream, and it's about breaking habits. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'll say, forget the ice cream today. Why don't you go pick up an apple and bite into an apple? It takes work. I mean, they're not going to say, "Oh, mom, great idea." That's
Yeah.
not going to happen. It's going
Yeah.
to be, "Honey, don't you think today is a good day to have a fruit?"
Yes.
Make them think of the answer. Don't tell them the answer all the time. Make them think of it.
I like
that
that.
gives them that opportunity.
Yes. So I see that you have all these motivational quotes around your house. You have the books. You know, I love the pictures. We'll speak about that as well.
Thank you.
You are absolutely the most positive person I've ever met.
Thank you.
And the energy, you feel it. It's not someone who's giving you some quotes, you know, and, you know, they're just like this motivational person. No, you are absolutely her energy. You feel how positive she is. You're always uplifting. And obviously, we all go through problems and are stressed out and have things that were, you know, challenging throughout our daily lives. So what keeps you so positive?
I grew up in a positive family. My dad was positive, my mom was positive, and I believe it comes, what you see is what you will be sometimes. And my mom was and still is an extremely positive person. And when I was through puberty, through my teen years, I was not happy seeing her happy all the time.
Yeah.
But it's funny, when you mature, when you get older, when you turn 21, you start to take on the same habits you saw growing
That's
up.
so true.
And it was instilled in me, and I'm so happy. My brothers are like that. I have 3 brothers.
Yeah.
We are positive people in a world that can be so negative, so hard, and with the ups and downs of life in general, we always go back to be positive. Everything's going to turn out all right.
So what could someone who didn't grow up in a family where they were positive and they're always negative, and maybe every time they try to, you know, mention something that they want to do or start or anything, but their parents kind of put them down, or their energy is getting drained just because they're surrounded by people who are negative, even maybe a negative husband or something. What advice could you give someone to be able to kind of change that mindset?
I've seen it. So if you can't, I mean, I wouldn't say if your husband is negative, you can't really remove yourself from it. You have to maybe seek outside help for that.
That's true.
But also surround yourself with positive people. The thing about energy and human nature, and if we can tap into it properly, and I find this so fascinating, is you will feel it. If you're around a woman, all she does is complaining, you give her that one day, you don't judge, you meet her again the next day, she's complaining again. That to me is negative energy, whatever she's going through. If you don't have to be there, remove yourself from it. Yeah. We owe people, I don't want to sound so harsh, and I'm not, as people know me, I'm such a nice person. Remove yourself. You don't owe anybody anything. You owe yourself first. Yep. It's your life, your choices. You owe it to you.
Yes.
No one, because I believe we live in a world of a lot of takers. And if you're a giver, people are going to constantly take that from you for them to strive in their positive world. But if a negative person is there, I tell them to seek positive outlets. Yes. Find what is making you happy, what is putting that gleam into your eyes. That's positivity. And what happens is when you change that habit of negativity and focus more on waking up positive, having positive sayings around your house,
exactly,
it becomes a positive world for you because you start to
believe
it.
And that's all you see, you know?
Yeah. And it's very true. I used to wake up in the morning when the kids were young, and I kid you not, before I was a PT, I woke up negative. And I woke up with the same feeling, and I'm sure you moms out there will say this. Oh, that's how I'd wake up every morning. And when I realized, and I became more mature in seeking outside help, whether it was self-help books, the books kept telling me, wake up with a positive attitude.
Start your
Even
day
if
like
you
that.
feel the kids are going to have temper tantrums, Your husband's going to come home late and not be able to help you with the kids. If you wake up and say, you know what, it's going to be a tough day, but it's going to be a good day.
Exactly.
And you fall into that and you're like, that is a good habit.
Yeah.
And you
That
actually
energy
believe
just
it.
flows throughout the day with you.
It's so true.
It's just
Energy
being able to
exists.
catch yourself in those moments.
Exactly.
But it's hard to catch yourself if you're not reading and being aware.
Because you'll get lost.
Yeah, you get
You'll
lost.
dive deep. You'll go
Yeah.
into that darkness and you'll get stuck there.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get stuck there. I didn't. And I kept these books. And I will keep them with me, I think, for the rest of my life. So if ever I feel I'm in a dark place or I have negative feelings or thoughts, that it's okay to have a negative thought on a daily, as long as it doesn't become 24 hours of negativity.
Yes.
You're going to have that 5 minutes. Okay, give yourself that moment of,
Exactly.
you're having a bad day. Okay, fine. Breathe it out and just say again, I've got this. It's going to be a good day.
Because when you let the stress take control, you can't think logically. Then you can't even solve the problem. You know, when people are too stressed out, for an example, a lot of mothers, yeah, but I got so much going on, and they're so stressed that they can't even have a clear mind, reflect, and then think logically. Okay, how can I plan everything accordingly? So that's the most important thing, is to be able to come back to that calmness so that we can think correctly, you know?
Exactly. It's always about taking a step back, because when you're too forward into it, you're going to get lost into it.
Yes. And the most important thing, honestly, is the questions that you ask yourself. Because when you have, like, I have a list of questions that I put on my wall. How, what, when, where, who, you know, and every time there's a wrong situation, I go through those questions. What can I do? What can I change in my life today that will make the biggest impact? You know, who could I talk to? We don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's successful people out there, professional people that we can learn from. So whenever time you feel like you're struggling with anything, like for an example, I'm not a mother. I don't know how it feels to be with, 3 children. That's why I decided to interview you, to help all of the mothers out there, because she's a professional at this. But whatever problem it is that anyone is struggling with, I like to have those questions written down. You can even have a picture of a screenshot on your phone, because you always look at your phone. But it's just like being able to think rationally and think and look at those questions and say, okay, forget about the situation right now and being stressed about it. What can I do right now to change it? And being in that state is being able to solve the problem. And that's how we move forward.
Exactly. And again, we can't do this on our own. We do need outside support.
Yeah.
Everyone asks me, how do you do it? I've had great support system. Like I said, I had a great pediatrician. I had a very supportive husband. I had a mom who was coming every 6 months to see the kids, be here with me. I had great outside help services for the kitchen, for the house.
I think it's also your
them.
positive mindset. It created everything to be much more positive. And the way that you evaluate everything, you look at everything in a positive way, and it just creates more positivity.
Exactly.
Because some people have these outlets, but they don't
Utilize them.
Yeah, and they don't realize the blessings.
Exactly, and they don't use them.
Yeah.
I think I fell into a trap. I think Jada who's now 16 and a half, was 9 at the time. I realized I needed help at that time.
Yeah.
I was trying to raise these kids on my own, took them to school, dropped them off, but then I had from 3 till 8 p.m. with them. That's 5 hours of constant hands-on, and I wasn't working. And I felt really lost. There was no system. The kids were fighting, sibling rivalry. And when I went to my pediatrician, she sent me to someone like a family pediatrician, and it was probably the best experience of my life.
Yeah.
And I took on sessions actually with this family pediatrician, where she sat us all down, the girls and I realized I wasn't being fair to each child. They all have different personalities, and the thing we do as moms when they're young, we join them in as one entity. Eat your food now, go to bed now. Jada was growing. My oldest was growing. She didn't need to go to bed at 6:30 anymore. And I was still forcing her to go to bed at 6:30 p.m. with the 4-year-old and the 2-year-old. My doctor made me see that, because when you have a bystander, they will see what you cannot see, because you're lost in the realms of motherhood and your responsibilities. I would honestly suggest outside help. Just a self-help book. Go to the library, read.
I was just about to ask you. So you read a lot of books. What is the one book out of all of these books that you can tell every mother out there that would be great for them to get right now to get started?
The Secret.
The Secret.
I think it was my first go-to book was The Secret.
Okay.
Oh, Rhonda Byrne. Oh my God. And then I ended up buying The Power, and then I bought The Hero because I loved it so much.
That's amazing.
The other
but the
books
first
were
book to
just-
start with is The Secret.
The Secret. It's and I've read this maybe 15 times.
Yeah, it's a small book, so it doesn't, it's not like it's a big, heavy book now that you got to read all of this. It's perfect.
No, and
it is a
funny-
great book to start with.
I'll never forget, a mother with 2 small kids was going through a divorce, and I got her the book, and I said, you need to just hold on to this, go through it. Maybe it's not the right time, or maybe it is the right time. And she's now successfully raising 2 kids on her own in Australia, and she calls me maybe once a month to say, I'm still reading it. It got her through it. It's the law of attraction.
Yeah.
We attract what we want, and that's what the first thing that when you open up this book is about, the law of attraction. You attract, if you want negative energy or you feel negative, you're going to attract the negativity to your life.
Exactly.
But if you want positivity, you will attract it because you're seeking it, and you will find a way to find it, and that's what The Secret gave to me.
This is amazing. So where can people find you?
Social media,
You
number
have
one.
social media, you have your Facebook. Do you have a Facebook group?
I don't have a Facebook
You
group.
should start
I should
a Facebook.
start
Yeah,
one.
you should start a
Yes,
Facebook
I
group.
should.
It's more private. You get to
Okay.
engage with people a
Okay.
lot. I just started
Yeah.
one, but I find it amazing because you actually really get to know people. On Instagram, it kind of gets lost through the messages, especially when you have a lot of
True.
followers and stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
I really should. My main source of social media is Instagram.
Yeah.
And people who need to reach me, they will either email me, and through the email, if I feel that our connection with each other is going to go further, then they contact me on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And then I do WhatsApp groups.
Yeah.
Especially for my Jump Fit class. I do
Yeah.
the WhatsApp groups
That's
there.
great.
But I do agree with you. I don't exactly have a Facebook page on fitness.
And you can have it like each group separately, like a group for the Jump Fit.
Okay.
And then a group for just personal training or something. Or a group just for your social media followers that are on Instagram. Say, listen, I want to get to know you because this is how you are naturally. But now you're taking to them a place where they can see information that you share forever.
And I should,
because
to be
you
honest, I
share,
should.
she shares a lot. Like I look at her page and I'm like, man, I'm slacking. I swear to God.
I look at Dina's page and I'm like, I wish I could keep up.
Yeah, right,
my
girl.
gosh.
Every day she shows everything, and I was like, I forgot
my goodness.
today. But you are so consistent. It became a habit. Now your
Yeah.
subconscious just took
Automatically
over.
do it.
Automatically
Yeah.
does it. That's the goal, man.
I agree.
So I know you just made a new website. I don't know. Are you up and running?
It's up and running. It just shows you what I do, my certifications,
Okay.
how I got started,
Great.
my clients before and after, a couple videos of Jump Fit Dubai. It also shows some pictures of before and afters, like I mentioned, of my clients.
Yeah.
And how you can reach me. It's a basic website,
Okay.
but I do want to put more time and effort into it.
Because all of these things that you share on your social media, you can just turn them into blogs. It's so easy.
Yes, exactly. And I
then
do have a blog on that website
Yeah, you
as
do.
well.
No, you do. You just put blog and you upload the pictures.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have all of these pictures. I'm seeing certificates everywhere. I'm seeing pictures everywhere of you on magazines. Like, tell me about
I have
that.
been blessed. I have been blessed.
It's because you do what you love.
Yes, and I think it came with passion. And it all started in 2013 where I was recognized by the Health and Fitness magazine. And I think in 2013 there weren't that many personal trainers at the time. So I might have started this personal training business at the right time in 2009.
Yeah, it is.
Where
Yeah, that's
it was
true.
not
Yeah.
as saturated as it is today with so many amazing personal trainers out there. And in 2013 was when I'd like to say my first break in the media world and in marketing, and where I was featured in Women Health and Fitness magazine.
That's amazing.
And it started from there.
Wow.
And then you have emails from Khalij Times or Gulf News or What's Up or Time Out magazine that would say, well, we saw you in this magazine, or we heard about you through word of mouth. And that's how it happened. And I think because I'm so passionate about what I do, my name might have been come up a few times because of that passion.
Yeah.
And I'm very disciplined, and people that know me very strict in my training.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people look for: professionalism, passion, commitment, and discipline. If you say you want your article delivered at 12 p.m., you're going to get it at 11:30 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm just a very disciplined person. I think I get that from my dad.
Yeah.
And I've always been on time. So I'm constantly asked again to write articles or to be featured.
And I love
maybe
your
based
articles.
on that principle.
I have a personal question. How old are you? I have to ask because this woman is so fit, she's so strong, and you're full of energy. And you know what? This is what health is. It's being in a well state for your physical, your emotional, everything.
Yes.
Your whole well-being is important, and
Thank you
you
so much.
absolutely define that. So if you don't mind sharing.
No, not at all. I'm 43 years old.
43. Okay, next question.
Yes.
How do you feel compared to when you were 20 years old?
Stronger. Skin is even better because I know my nutrition.
Yes.
Bones, muscle, not bones, muscle. I'm surprised. I think muscle is the secret to youth.
Yes.
And the more muscle you can build inside to protect your bones, the older you get, the stronger you'll feel, the less injuries you'll have, and I honestly believe the younger you'll look.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, you've
Thank
always
you.
obviously
Oh,
looked
thank
beautiful, but it's like when you radiant with that energy of confidence and strength, people feel it.
Yeah.
People feel that energy. They know that you're happy in your skin. They know that you feel good. And it affects all the people around you. It affects your children, your husband, the people that you work with. So it's very important really my advice, really to take it seriously, because a lot of people just think, one day I'll work out, or they're just thinking when their stomach is too big, that's when I want to work out. But it's so much more than that.
Yeah, it's well-being. You're
It's
right.
well-being. It's really wanting to feel good and wake up happy. Go to work happy.
Yeah.
Grab your husband, kiss him, hug him, happy, and accept compliments. A lot of women that I see nowadays can't even accept a compliment. I used to be like that. Every time my husband complimented me, I always ended it with something negative. Yeah, but this, yeah, but that, and it's this insecurity that, a lot of people build up from social media and all this pressure and stuff. And I think self-love and working on yourself is what's going to move you forward in every other area of your life.
Exactly.
And it's going to raise confident children.
Yes, exactly. I always remind the kids, you are enough. You have what it takes. You've got this. I constantly remind them, and we all need to remind ourselves we are enough. We really are.
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dina.
Is there anything that you would like to share with everyone?
Just thank you so much for listening, guys. I hope maybe you were able to take a few key points out of this podcast with Dina. It's been such a pleasure for me to be able to sit down and be one of the first to be interviewed by Dina. When her podcast came out, I was the first one onto them because this girl knows it all. And I don't have enough time to be able to share what she knows to my clients or my friends. So I tell everyone, the secret is get onto Dina's podcast.
You're amazing.
I don't have time. We make the time, and Dina's made the time, and that's why I'm actually very honored to be part of the podcast, to be able to share my experience.
Yes.
My experience from where I was to where I am today, and how I made all this possible.
3 key points that you want to leave everyone with.
You are enough. Do not forget your to-do lists, and wake up positive every day.
That's perfect. You couldn't have said it any better.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Jennifer.
Dina, so much. Oh, that was beautiful.
I mean,
That was great.
all right, you guys. See you. If there are any questions that you would like to ask her, you can shoot me a message. You can comment below under the episode. You can send her messages, and we would love to do another podcast for you. It would be great if you let us know what topics that you would love to hear from her, because at the end of the day, we're doing this for you. If you want to go check Jennifer out, just go to the description in the episode. I posted her Instagram link, her website, and her email. I hope you enjoyed my podcast. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message or leave me a comment below. If you want to check out my workout routines, you can find me on all social media platforms at Dina's TV, or you can go straight to my website at dinas.tv. I also created a private Facebook group where I will be uploading videos, and I will also be live streaming so that we can engage with each other and you can ask me questions. All you have to do is type in transform your body and transform your life to find it on Facebook. Make sure to subscribe. And if you found this podcast to be helpful, please leave me a review. It helps the podcast to reach more people. I also check each and everyone's comment. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until the next episode, stay strong, stay healthy, and always stay happy.